people blame Obama if they don't have a job. Well, a lot of people blame Obama for all this other stuff, and it's not his fault. But people are, But he can also take the credit. I just want to know what you guys would think. You know what I mean? I don't have a. I don't really deal with abstract politics. I deal with my own little community. The guys that run my neighborhood and my little part of Oklahoma City. And the things I can't control, I hope go good, and the things I.
But there are things that can be changed. That
Well,
can make things better.
What's the movement? I don't understand what the movement is. I guess movement to what?
Well, it's these Occupy Wall Street movements is what I'm referring to.
I know, but I'm just saying we're all already aware of this corporate greed. We're already aware of it.
Here's a couple ways. Here's a couple ways. Yeah, my parents, my family, all of my relatives, not aware. And you can do certain things. If you can, reform campaign finance, right there, right off the bat, that would be huge. And installing term limits too would also change what type of faces we see there. But campaign finance would absolutely change the way things work right off the bat. It would affect who could run for office. Right now it is very limited. You have to have money, and not only do you have to have money, but you've got to accept money from certain individuals. Because if you don't accept that, the other 9 candidates that are running are going to get that money. There is literally no other option. You do it the way Ron Paul does, you get fucked. The media does not give you a fair shakedown. The debates, they don't give you a fair amount of time to speak. It is rigged against you. And it only works that way because people have fallen asleep. Lobbyists, a Congress that doesn't listen to him.
I don't know. I don't pretend to know about things around. I don't have any.
It's just a fucked up system, and he plays the part, and he plays the part he's supposed to.
It's about the funding of politics. The funding of the people that are putting
The mechanics of it, in other words.
That's what our movement
the
is
people's
about. We're
voice not being
beyond
heard because of the corporate
politics.
money.
Well, I guess I just don't know. I guess part of it's what is the specific thing in your area right
that
here
is
that's
the
gonna-
general,
We're against the corruption that plays such a huge role in politics.
I know, but everybody is.
Right.
everybody is anyway.
So
we were all
you're
against
saying,
it.
so you're asking what's the answer?
No, I'm just saying, but not everybody is going to come out
Because
here.
the Tea Party movement is also apparently, or similarly, against the way money is being used in government, and obviously there are different angles here. I'm not ignorant to that.
But also with that movement, it was the same idea of a grassroots idea. But after a while, they sat down. They realized that if they could get some money, if they could be co-opted to have a certain idea, maybe follow along a certain Republican idea, this will not be co-opted. This cannot be bought. We will come to a consensus, and it will be for the people, by the people. And with that movement, they got co-op, they got moved to an idea and towards a certain Republican or Democrat, whatever party. This is a non-partisan, holding only 2 parties.
Yeah.
Is it really a vote when the popular vote isn't even counted?
Compromises have to be made.
And when the popular vote is just really decided by the Electoral College.
The life is full of these bad compromises. There's nothing we can do about that.
There is something we can do about it.
This
is a democracy. There is everything we can do about it.
It is a
It's
democracy.
supposed to be
That's
a
why you may not
democracy.
go the way you want.
It doesn't matter which way it goes. It's going to be by the people. If we can get enough people to get involved and enough people to realize that these things are not going the way
I see where you're.
I have no problem with it going the way that I don't want it.
I know, but it usually goes by the way the powers like who wrong.
Well, I don't have a problem with it going the way that I don't want it to go, as long as it's done by a majority vote by the populace, not a majority vote by
people always
those that
argue
have
about
power.
that, but
Are you against that? So you have a problem with the Electoral College? Is that
maybe to a degree, but not necessarily enough to abolish it, but maybe have some type of reform to it where it's
overcome complacency, particularly in America. We wouldn't be out here camping, you know what I'm saying? There wouldn't be an Occupy movement if Americans were persistent about educating themselves. But I think that's a big part of at least what this is trying to do. It's just for some sort of social and cultural education in terms of how we view politicians. This whole left-right thing that's kind of enforced and reinforced by our media, I think is a big portion of it.
Well, you gotta have something to talk about. Everything gets too abstract. And everybody has their own self-interest.
In Switzerland or in some of the more European models, it's there are 8 or 9 different parties represented in their parliament that actually have a significant portion of the vote.
It is
opening that up in this country
analogy.
have a lot of benefits.
I lived in Oklahoma where until 1962, there was a fucking black part of town, there was a white part of town. And if I was alive back then, I wouldn't have played along, So to me, I don't wait for the government to tell me you can live now. I never.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
So I'm kind of
So it comes down to who are you voting in 12?
I'm hoping I'll vote for Obama. You know,
Okay.
because if we don't, I mean, you know, our problem is that we think about it too much. You know, it's like the Republicans treat this like it's a football game. They don't care if your team is better. They just want to win.
Exactly.
And we really want the best person to be in there. So we might think Obama's not the best person. And they want that. They want us to start to question our fucking government so they can all fucking jump on it and say, no, we're going to win. Because they don't want what's best. They want to win.
Yeah.
They want their side to win and your side to lose. And you don't want that. You want us all to live in peace.
To a
And
degree.
they don't want that. They want you to be poor and they want them to be rich.
But I mean,
But if you give them the power, they're not going to be sympathetic to your cause. You know, they want to win.
Yeah.
And they don't believe we should all live together and be happy.
So are you thinking through Democratic?
No, I'm just saying you have to be ruthless. You know, you can't.
We signed the
Obama's
Patriot
gonna
Act,
fix everything.
continued, expanded and continued the drug war, and kept persecuting people. Medical
And American
extended drone
colonization.
attacks in Yemen and in Syria and other places. Where, like, in
Well, I don't
On a
know. I'm
list
not an
of-
expert.
a
I,
list of
I don't
other
know.
things.
I don't know the ramifications of all these things. I don't use abstract equations. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I think Republicans suck.
Oh yeah, I don't think
Republicans
anybody in
hate
this.
black people. I think they hate gay people. I think they're against all the marijuana laws, and they personally hate us. So I say, fuck.
This
We're gonna get
is that people sort of step outside the box and realize that, like, in 2008, between Obama and McCain, contributions from Bank of America alone were about equal for each candidate. So it's like if we're here protesting like corporate involvement in politics, and we still go in 2012 and vote for one candidate who got one of the Federal Reserve chiefs to run the economy, Timmy Geithner, like, what message are we sending? Like, how are we stepping outside and
But you're
changing things
never
if we
going to
don't?
get around money. You're never going to get around money.
But we
I know a lot of people. I
could.
know some very, very rich people who are wonderful.
Oh yeah, I'm not
Rich
against
people
people
aren't
making money.
together.
I'm not an anti-capitalist. I'm kind of a free market kind of capitalist kind of guy. But my point is just that it's like the particular decision, the whole Citizens United thing that pretty much.
I'm not an expert.
Yeah, no.
I can talk about a lot of different issues, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know the issues that affect my neighborhood, my people, my little community.
Dude, it's so
Yeah.
awesome that you're out here listening to us, man.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I'm
much
no. I
shit.
mean,
We're
when
so
I have the
grateful,
time,
man.
I'm here. You know.
We're so grateful.
Anyway, we're gonna run. I love
so
that you have this dog.
So grateful.
All right, fellas.
Awesome,
meeting,
man.
man.
All right,
Thank you so much for coming out here.
I got a bunch of people coming to see you tomorrow night.
Thanks for coming out, listen, man. Appreciate it.
Let's hope the weather helps you guys. Yeah. I don't mean to argue with you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
town, and we just talk because like I've been on tour. I've been in Europe a lot, and then like I've been on the road constantly, and I haven't even been to visit Occupy Philadelphia, my neighborhood, and I have friends that are there. You know, so we just wanted to see what people had to say.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you listened.
Yeah.
Took the time out to come out.
Well, my bottom line is like anti-apathy is always good. I vote in every election, and you know, and I have friends that are like, "Why bother?" I say because it makes me feel empowered, as if I have, you know, some vested interest in it.
Exactly.
I didn't say I had like vested power in the process, but I have at least a vested
did
interest.
something.
And if that makes me seem a little self-righteous, so be it. But I feel like it's important.
We don't feel self-righteous.
No, but anti-apathy is always good in my vote. and
Yeah.
that's all I gotta say.
It was nice.
about
It was nice talking with you.
Yeah, likewise. Take care.
Me too.
Take care. Yep.
That you filmed my entire argument with Wayne Coyne.
I did. Occupy Norfolk, Flaming Lips, getting it on.
He turned down my option to jam with him for more political debate. He was like, whoa, we're jamming.
I want to know about
Can we hear some more Obama? Maybe. This
Oh, really? He said that?
Yeah.
Occupy Norfolk.